Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. It is Flower It Up Friday. My, how the week has flown. I've been busy and I'm sure you have too. This time of year, we are busier than we normally are, but I have time for Flower It Up Friday. Does flour have to always be baked? I think not. So today I'm going to show you how I use flour in cooking. Now it's not going to be a lot. I use this probably about 9 out of 10 meals I do, and it's a great starter, a base for a lot of things. And today it's going to be my base starter for chili. So I went grocery shopping in my pantry, of course, and I'm going to show you what I'm using in my chili today. So I'm not sure that Ashley intended for this to be used this way. So I'm going to tack something onto the end as well that I'm sure is more in keeping with what she had envisioned for Flower It Up Friday. So it's a cold chili night tonight and I'm going to make chili since it's chili, right? So out of my fridge, I pulled some broth. This is some leftover broth I have. And then some juice off of the cans of veggies that I made earlier in the week. I have a tomato juice here. I have a pasta sauce. Yes, I use pasta sauce in my chili. I have some baked beans. That's one of the beans that I'm going to put in. And then I have some hamburger. So in my stock pot, my Dutch oven, whatever it is, I have butter and equal amounts of flour. Here where the flour comes in. So I'm going to actually whisk these together. This is called a roux or white sauce, whatever you want to call it. I use it to thicken soups, stews, just about so many things. And this is one way you can use flour in your cooking. So like I said, I'm not exactly sure she meant it this way, but just to show you another way to use flour. So in goes my various broth that I showed you earlier, and as you can see, it makes it a nice thick base, and it also adds flavor and depth to my dish, whatever I'm making. So in goes the rest of them, and I'm just going to continue building the layers. So it might look all crazy and lumpy and look like it's not going to come together, but all you need to do is continue to whisk it together, and I will assure you it's going to come together in no time. And here it is, come together, and I'm just going to add the rest of my ingredients. There's the tomato juice. I can't talk today. This is the beans that I couldn't get out. And then here is the pasta sauce. Now, I don't know why it's so dark. 2 years ago, this one's 2 years old, they were really dark. I guess it's tomatoes I used. I used a lot of Cherokee purple tomatoes that year. That's what I grew. So one thing I found that's a really big help in my kitchen are these little spatulas that can fit inside my mason jars to get every little bit out. This one had a lot of seasoning left in the bottom of the jar, and I also rinse out my jars with some broth that I'm actually adding to the dish as well. And I do use a lot of jars, and this is what they look like after I've rinsed them with the broth and put all that seasoning and goodness into the dish I'm making. So don't leave that goodness inside those jars. And what goes with chili but some cornbread or some rolls? So I'm going to make a quick roll. That's what I call it anyway. They're Mayo rolls. Now if you never heard of them and it sounds gross, I thought so at first too, but they are pretty good and they're quick in a pinch. Now, a door's called for self-rising flour, which I don't have, so I'm just going to make it real quick in my bowl here. I've added the flour, baking soda, and baking powder and salt. Baking powder and salt. So I'll give you the recipe down in the description box below. So if you don't have self-rising flour and you need it for a recipe, this is a quick, easy one that I found that works great. So here I have 2 cups of my self-rising flour. And then to that, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. This recipe does not call for sugar, but we like our rolls a little bit sweeter than what the original recipe called for. So I just added in 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I'm just mixing that through thoroughly. This recipe comes together so quickly. And then I calls for a cup of milk. Now this milk is kind of dark because I actually canned it myself. This is milk that I canned and made into evaporated milk. That's why it's kind of on the dark side. And I have my main ingredient, which is mayo, and I'm going to put in 3 heaping tablespoons of mayo, and that's basically it. Mix this together. I do find though, after I've mixed this together, the recipe I saw and the videos I saw when I first made this, they are a lot runnier than what my batter comes out to be. I don't know if it's the flour I'm using or what, but I like it kind of this thickness. I like the way the rolls come out, and I go with it. So I have a greased regular muffin cupcake dish, or pan I should say, and it is non-stick, but I did grease it anyway. I find that works best for me to release the actual roll. So this makes, depending on what size you make them, between 10 and 12. Now I have only 8 here because I made mine really big. So here is the chili. We kind of like it on the thicker side, and it has all the goodness. I did add a cup of rice into it, so that helped to thicken it up as well. And here are the rolls out of the oven. They smell delicious, and they'll be gone in no time. They took about, depending on your oven, about 10 to 15 minutes. Quick, easy. I had this meal on the table in half an hour. That's from going to my pantry, getting the ingredients, to finishing and getting it on the table. A half an hour. And here are the rolls. They are a cross between a biscuit and a roll. Not quite a biscuit, not quite a roll. They're like a hybrid of the two, but they are delicious and they're quick and easy to make. So it was a great thing because I didn't want to be rolling out any yeast rolls or anything like that, waiting for them to proof. So that was a quick and easy roll that I could put on the table. So if you're skeptical about tasting the mayo in the finished product, you don't taste it at all. If you want to throw a little bit of sugar in there, that just helps enhance the actual flavor of the roll, and you don't taste the mayo whatsoever. So while the oven was on, I decided to go ahead and make a quick dessert. Now I have some more box store-bought mixes that I need to work my way through. I've been trying to work my way through them, but this one is a definite winner. The cinnamon swirl crumb cake or muffin mix is delicious. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos.